Hello, guys. How are you doing? Welcome to Transforming Lives. I'm your host, Tony Kimball, and I'm excited about tonight. We're talking with genuine people with real lives. This is episode 8. I'm so excited about our guest tonight. But here's what I need you to do. I need you to share this. Go ahead right now. Go ahead, start sharing it. Let your partner know. Tell them to share it. We're on Instagram tonight. All right. So we're trying things different, stepping out of our comfort zone and trying different things. So what I need you to do right now is share it. And our mission is just allowing people from our community to share their lives and talk about how it's been transformed. Our guest tonight is one that is just a phenomenal person. She's been 16 years as a psychotherapist. She's very professional. When you think about her, when you're around her, you can't help but to change how you are. When you talk to her, you can't help but to laugh. If you try not to laugh, something's wrong with you. Okay. So, Verily Harper is one that has been in the profession for quite some time. She graduated magna cum laude in business management. She has a master's degree in mental health counseling. She's a national certified counselor in Texas and New Jersey. Well, guys, not only is she a psychotherapist, she's a widow. She's a mother of 3 wonderful daughters and 1 son that's a dynamic person that's going to Alabama State University. And she's a grandmother of an amazing active 2-year-old. Okay. I can understand that very well, those ages. Her journey has not been crystal clear, guys. In the words of renowned Langston Hughes, it's important to understand that as a mother, she's experienced the growing pains of being a mother. She started early. But the thing that I like about it, she addresses the matters of the heart. And I like what she has. She's the owner of a company, and that's TBE Global LLC. But I like the quote that she has: small change, big impact. I'm so excited today to bring to the stage, guys. Put your hearts, press your hearts, do your thumbs. I'd like to welcome to the stage Miss Verily Harper.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for having me, Tony. I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on.
And let me apologize first. I sent you an old bio chat. But it's still good in there. It's still good. Okay. The grandson is 5 now.
He's 5? Oh.
He's 5. Yeah, he's 5. So it's 30 years old, my bad.
Okay, don't hold it.
And then real people make mistakes.
Right. It's all good. It is all good. So what's happening? What's happening in your life? We got you on. What's happening with you right now?
Lord Jesus. Widow. Look, I am navigating now, running a practice from in the Texas area, and still the practice is running great in New Jersey. COVID, in some instance, has helped because everybody's virtual anyway. So it works, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So running business, the 19-year-old is home since COVID. He never returned back to school after March. My God. He didn't return back to school. He's home.
Gotcha. I can tell.
And he don't want to go nowhere. He don't want to go. So doing that and just really adjusting to being back in Houston. Because as you know, we have been away for some time. So adjusting back to being in Houston, trying to rebuild and restructure my own life, right? As a therapist, I spend a lot of time helping other people rebuild and restructure their lives, right? What happens when the therapist is on the other side of restructuring and rebuilding, right? Like that's so just kind of leaning into that and leaning into being single by way of widowedness.
Yep. Gotcha.
Okay.
So
doing some writing.
okay.
Morgan would kill me if I said I would. But doing some writing. I write anyway, but have been writing for years. But some target writing is happening. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know about the writing part. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That
I make the man didn't just marry me for my good looks, honey.
I'm just saying that wasn't in that wasn't in my one of my notes. All right.
She got a little sustenance too.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right. So you mentioned about owning, your own company, TBE, Global LLC. Let the listeners know. Tell us about your company and what it offers.
All right. So I'm a therapist, psychotherapist, licensed in the state of Texas and in New Jersey. The journey we had been really funny because I had 14 years in the oil and gas field, and I have an undergraduate degree in business and management.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So therapy wasn't my track. Okay. Like, period at all. I literally thought that therapists were quacks. They working on everybody else's life while they're falling apart behind the scenes, and they trying to heal themselves through their clients and all this kind of stuff, which is, for some is accurate. Okay.
Okay.
But my plan was to go finish my undergrad, go on to my MBA, and then go to getting my PhD in business.
Really?
And so my track was business all the way. And I oftentimes joke with my clients and tell them it's not seriously, joke with my clients and let them know I didn't choose this field. This field actually chose me.
Right. Yeah.
Knowing what I know about the field, having sat on one of the biggest executive boards for clinicians, after going to attending a conference, I still wouldn't choose this field. This field would not be my field of choice.
Wow,
but I cannot see doing anything else.
That's amazing how you brought that out. You're running and you're trying to dodge it, but it's like
I cannot see anything else, and it marries. So it marries my business degree, right? They complement one another.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So therapy is what I offer. I'm versed in everything and anything that you can think of, from schizophrenia to situational depression. It's a whole gamut of things that we can navigate. I'm a grief specialist. So in the area of grieving, go figure, huh?
Right,
it's a whole life setup.
Wow, that's so everybody, you are hearing what Ms. Harper offers. Definitely we give her time at the end to kind of put her contact information out there as well. I guess my next question is, we understand that you had a company. You've kind of touched on it. What was your inspiration for starting this company?
So the truth of the matter is because I did not want to be a therapist, I never anticipated that I would have a counseling company. I'm hoping eventually we'll migrate into both counseling and consulting, with ministries and corporations.
Gotcha.
But inspiration for the name of the company, TBE, in the back door, stands for the butterfly effect, right? And so that, of course, is based on, I believe it's a 1975 meteorology study, right? That the small flutter of butterfly wings can impact a whole nother part of the country globally. And I said, wow. I just think about that in the context of the things that we do. Small changes can have big and great impact, right?
Wow.
So for me, myself, like, it's not that we don't do enough of it's not that we are doing the wrong things, right?
Yep.
Sometimes it is that we're not doing enough of the right thing to experience the desired result.
Makes sense.
Small change, big impact. You want to lose weight? Most people try to make these big grandiose goals, right?
Right. Yeah.
But they forget, hey, you gotta just take small steps.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to lose weight 3 days a week, 30 minutes a day, make some adjustments to your eating habits and stay consistent, and you'll see results.
Right. Small change. Right. Yeah.
Small change, big impact. You ain't gotta go. I mean, not all the fitness gurus may get me, but you ain't gotta go stay in the gym 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, 7 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Small change, big impact. Make some adjustments. Consistency.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. That.
Yeah, and that's with everything. Like that's with anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's important. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I got to put a pin and put a note right here on that one. I'm gonna come back to that one later. Ask you about that one, but mental health. When we my first question is, and I'll kind of break it down, is what is mental health? When you hear the word mental, a problem.
All right. Okay, it's still a problem. I really wish that it wasn't a problem in 2020, but it's still a problem for people to grasp and understand.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when you just said it's a problem 2020, so why is it that in the African American culture, why is it taken so lightly?
Well, because I'll take you back. Right?
Yeah.
I'll take you back pre-us.
Mm-hmm.
Foundationally, we started something that was beneficial for us way back then. And that is, some people have heard me talk about it before, but it was an adaptive stance that we had to take to protect ourselves. Back in slavery days, right?
Right.
And coined this thing. Every, African American has heard it. What happens in our house stays in our house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
That was to protect us. That's called adaptive behavior. We have to adapt to survive. Right?
Yeah.
As generations have gone on, what that statement did was cause us to keep secrets. Cause us to make light of the heavier things.
Absolutely.
Cause us to steal, even though we may not be saying it as much.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the mentality has taken root. So
absolutely.
We don't trust. We don't talk to people. We create all of these other barriers, and not just that, but also some people feel like they don't have you have all different barriers. You got financial barriers.
Yeah.
Right? I can't afford it. I can't afford to see a therapist. Well, you can you afford what you want. You afford hair. You afford, a golfing. Golf memberships. You afford
what you want, right?
You find the money for things that you want to invest in. And
absolutely.
So, sometimes that's a barrier. That's an issue. You can't afford it. I tell my clients, people call me all the time, they may not have adequate insurance. Then they ask me what my price is. I tell them, and they're like, oh, I can't afford that. I said, how do you know? Let me teach you how to ask for what you need.
That's good. Yeah.
You have negotiating power with a therapist. Most people don't know that. If you cannot afford to pay out of pocket, you have negotiating power with a therapist, at least with me.
Gotcha.
There's negotiating power. Like you can afford to see a therapist.
Yeah. That's good to know.
That is a barrier.
That's definitely good.
And then their own mentality can be a barrier. I don't want to sit down and talk to nobody and tell them my business. Don't nobody understand what I'm going through.
But that,
I don't want to talk to nobody that don't know me. But talking to the people that do know you ain't really it's not really effective either.
That part of that you just brought out, it's almost like this ripple effect that you just said, okay, we hold these things in and it's been taught to us. Then we don't understand, okay, you've set a price. That's still something that we have in our mind and say, well, all right, you set that price, well, I can't do it. And back off.
And back off.
And go into a shell.
Most therapists, here's the nugget. Most therapists, one, have participated in so many pro bono services a year. If you call a therapist, ask if they've met their pro bono quota. If you do not have the financial means. Now, you may have to prove that you don't have the financial means.
Right.
But ask, inquire. Yeah. Ask about the sliding scale rate. Therapists have sliding scale rate.
Yeah.
They can do so much of that per year too. So therapy is affordable. And then some people get, may go to therapy one time and they don't enjoy. Them and the therapist don't fit. It's not a good fit.
Right.
I often tell people, keep going. It's like trying on a perfect pair of pants for the perfect shoes. You find the good fit. It's okay to say, you know what, I just really don't think that you're a good fit for me. Let me try another therapist. Can you recommend me to another therapist? Ethically, we cannot tell you no, we can't recommend you to another therapist. It's our duty to help you and give you resources of another therapist that will be a different type of fit for you. Wow. It's our responsibility to do that.
Wow, this is great information. Man, you took the excitement level up another notch because you don't know these things. You don't. You're ignorant of them. To know that, because I think in the African American community, we need to be aware of this so that we can go and not feel like, because the stigma is, if you go there, we have a place in Mississippi called Whitfield.
That's what I heard. You crazy. That's for crazy people. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Right.
Here's how I view. Can I say that on, Reverend Kimber? This is this a Reverend. Yeah. And I'm crying. So here's the thing. I view seeing a therapist this way. It can be just like people having sex all over the globe. Listen, preventative, okay? Just like you're going to go grab a contraceptive before you become intimate with someone, therapy is the same way. It's preventative, right? And then you have a cue. That's the That's when most people come to therapy, when they are at the It's already happened, right?
Right, yes.
And after you've done the and little baby here or whatever,
right?
Then maintenance. So you move in phases. Preventative. That doesn't necessarily mean that something is mentally wrong with you. That just means that I need to take a minute, talk to somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight of what I'm going through. Because maybe my friends and my family are biased. Maybe I just need somebody who's not too close to the fight.
Makes sense.
That can help me see something from a different perspective. I'm whole life. So me and my clients deal with everything from finances to children to spouses, dating, spirituality, education, vocational things. We deal with all of that.
Right.
Why? Because each one of those areas can be a stressor. So we deal with life stressors. That's it. It doesn't mean that you are gonna need to sit in a padded room and wait for somebody to hand you medication. That's not what that means. That's not
Right.
what that
Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you for clearing
means. Ain't
All
nobody coming to pick you up. Look, like people often joke, the people in the white coat. No, that's not what that means all the time. No. There are some scenarios where it is possible. However, that's not what it means all the time. I really wish that we would not wait until we're already in an acute emotional state to seek therapy. If y'all don't remember nothing else, I'm going to say, but I said tonight, remember this. You don't build skill in crisis. You build skill when there is no crisis, so that when the crisis comes, you'll already have the tools that you need for at least a head start, so that you don't fold under pressure.
This is good. This is good. And if you're not on, you're just not on. But this is some valuable information that we need in our lives, because a lot of times, like you're talking about, we're not dealing with things in the preventative stages. We're not. It's we're not those stages.
Yeah, baby, they wait till they get to the to go out and get the prevention. It's too late. Get it out. Get it out.
You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Oh, so when we talk about these multiple places in our lives, and the whole part of when I talk about genuine people with real lives, it's if you're having financial problems, they don't go away. When you have financial problems, it's going to trigger there are some triggers that start to occur, and you have to fix. It's like smoke. The smoke is in the house.
Absolutely. You have to fix that. Yeah. You have to address the root of the issue.
That's good. The root.
Yeah. You got to address the root of the issue. We've been really good at band-aiding things. Or acting like they don't exist. And just because you don't acknowledge something does not mean it is not real.
That's absolutely
it's real. It's a real deal.
Right. The house is burning.
It's burning. What you gonna do? You can sit it, just let it burn, or you can do something to try to fry out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you touched on several things. One question in particular I want to ask you to share about for us is, how, all the things that are going on in our world. It's just a lot. Just, I can't pinpoint just one thing, but I want to kind of capture it in this question. How does someone handle tragedy?
That's a loaded question. Is that a loaded question?
Well, we'll chop it up. Chop it up.
Child, we'll be here till 2025. So, here is the deal. The only thing that you can do to manage tragedy is to manage yourself within the context of what has occurred. Be aware and in tune with your own mental and emotional stance regarding whatever the experience is. Don't try to suppress it, no matter how painful. Lean into it. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but pain changes us for the better if we allow it to.
Yep.
If we allow it to, it changes us for the better. Most oftentimes, we try to just kind of sail past the things that pain us. Why? Because nobody likes to experience pain. Like, it's the thing that nobody likes to talk about.
Right. We don't.
However, we don't like it. We don't want to. We are pain. We are trained to be pain adverse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we're choosing to be part of the earth. I won't have nothing to do with it. Nothing that causes me pain. I don't want it. Pain is unavoidable. Tragedy is unavoidable.
Right.
So the only thing that we can do is lean into ourselves, lean into the support system, healthy ways of coping, learning healthy ways of coping
Yeah.
in tragedy, and acknowledge where we are. And every day somebody will ask me, Verily, how are you really doing? My response is always, I take it day by day, and some days I'm taking it moment by moment. But the key is that I am continuously mobilizing through. I am continuously figuring out where I am. Some days it looks different, but I acknowledge it and I give it space to have its work. So what does it look like? Sometimes writing, right? I do a lot of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And I acknowledge where I am in that moment, whatever that moment looks like. I acknowledge where I am.
This is good information because I'm, as you're talking, I'm thinking about for children in schools. They're going back to school, and this they haven't talked to their friends, maybe on social media, but this interaction that they're going to have, but then they're going to have to put on some brakes because they can't go up and hug them.
That ain't gonna work. Yeah, they gonna, baby, they gonna hug them, lick their fingers, touch their friend's face. They gonna do all that. It's gonna be done. I don't listen. If they gonna be exchanging masks, they gonna, they gonna dig from here, dig from there, touch teacher. They gonna do all that. They might as well forget about it.
It's funny because it's true.
It's gonna be a hope and a prayer. You hear me? It's gonna be a hope and a prayer. Unless they gonna cage each child, it ain't happening. They can forget about it. Maybe we licking stuff, touching stuff, licking desks, licking feet, we doing all that.
I gotta gather myself. You said they're gonna be exchanging masks.
Yeah. Your mask cute. I was like, mama gave me. Oh, they can be doing all that. They're gonna be doing all that. All of it.
So let me try to get my composure back here to ask you more question. You're right. That is true. So yeah. We're praying for parents.
Yes, Lord, and educators, please.
Educators.
I'm praying for y'all.
Oh wow. So let's kind of turn the pages to, you've spoken on a lot tonight, and you've made some valid points, from family to families holding things in and erasing the stigma that has been on mental health. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about, tell us about your transformation. And, I'm sure you got a lot of stories, but how did, you said, tell us how it shaped you. When you think about transformation, tell us about your transformation.
Oh Lord, that's another loaded question. We'll be here till 2030 with that one. So listen, I was a single mom. I was a mother at 15.
Mm-hmm.
A PK.
Yeah.
Yeah. The old pastor. And so that in and of itself really shaped a lot of things, good, bad, and indifferent. Mm-hmm. But becoming a mom, probably for me, is when I began to gain some independence. Many don't know, but I was technically a high school dropout after I had my daughter. And I homeschooled. And I started working for a church. And I had a boss that would give me work to do. And I would be like, I don't know how to do this. Back then, computers had just come out. It was graphic stuff. I was reading contracts from Nigeria and everything. I was like, he say, figure it out. I need it on my desk. A, B, C, and D.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just like, figure it out. So I love him still to this day because he's the one that really, really, really taught me about professionalism. And so when I left his office, I actually went into corporate, and I was like 17, no degree, only a homeschooled high school diploma, and started working my way up the corporate ladder.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did everything backwards. I had kids early, got a degree late, got another degree, got married. I did everything. What people would consider backwards. But for me, it was right on time. The way that I feel about transformation, Tony, is that every day we are transforming into something.
Awesome.
Every day, 1%, if we put forth the effort, I believe every day, 1%, we can transform for the better. If every day we just do one thing that pushes us closer toward our becoming.
Absolutely.
Because we're forever becoming. There's going to always be something that we want to improve about ourselves. There's going to be always something, if you are doing self-evaluation, that you see about yourself. It could be mental and emotional, it could be, psychological. I was mean. I mean, I still can be a little mean but I try to manage that.
Right.
And so I looked up one day and I did not like that part of me.
Gotcha.
Because that part of me was very explosive. So that was a real transformation. Gotcha. That part of me was very explosive. And so I did not really start to lean into really transforming that until I was married. Ramon and I got married May of 2009. We relocated September of 2009 to New Jersey. And that's when it really started to manifest. I was away from everything that I deemed familiar.
Yeah.
And that was scary. And it agitated every ugly bone in my body.
Wow. And you speak of that. I can relate to you because when you're around familiar, you just kind of let loose.
Yeah.
But when you're away, you're like,
ain't nobody else to look at but you. You ain't got no distraction. You have no distractions. Just right. I gotta figure me out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I know we said 30 minutes, but it's good. So whatever with the time, we'll be finished in a minute. So when you talked about transformation, you talked about that 1%. Everybody, you're not the statue that I got here, and it's something that you're each day getting better at. You spoke about you didn't intend to be a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I didn't wake up this morning on my to-do list. It's psychotherapist.
I didn't wake up like this.
So when you talk about this daily transformation, can you speak about it in terms of your purpose?
Yeah. So I probably knew this was a spiritual experience back in 1998. That probably, as we grow, I was late teens. And, you always speak like, does God really speak? Does the Holy Spirit really speak to people? And that probably was the first time that I'd ever audibly heard the voice of God. Grew up in church, been in church all my life. Daddy was a pastor. but like developing my own spiritual relationship.
Yeah.
And as I began to develop my own spiritual relationship, things started to be revealed to me about portions of what my purpose would be. Right. So when I became a therapist, it was no surprise to me because there have been glimpses of it, even though it wasn't my plan, it also was not a surprise.
Gotcha.
Because there have been moments in my life that I've leaned into things surrounding mental health, from writing stage plays, productions, putting them on. The stage productions that I've written have to do with mental health. Makes sense.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, some of the hard things and some of the life stressors that cause us mental and emotional anguish. Yeah, just man, purpose is. I'm gonna say this. I know, Pastor.
You've been doing good. You're good.
Is both a blessing and it can be both a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Because you have to walk through things when you're embracing your purpose. Sometimes you got to walk through things, man, that you don't want to. Especially me, from the seat that I sit in. I was told long ago that my life was not my own. It wasn't by no human being. And I really started being like, hey, why I gotta go through this stuff for other people? Let them people go through their own stuff. What? Why I got to walk through the hard stuff for other folks? Man, I'm pretty sure you got a portion for me. Yeah, a portion.
Right. Yeah, just
when I really started to understand that, I think I began to embrace it. And I really began to, and I want to say that probably was not until we lost our granddaughter in December 26th of 2014 or leading up to. It's true. When I started really embracing purpose, I accepted an enlisting. I was enlisted. And I accepted. And every day I have to make a sound decision to say yes. Because I literally could quit this at any time. I mean, I'm double degreed. I could just walk away from this at any time. But I am certain that I would not experience fulfillment.
That's good. Yeah.
Because I would be detaching from something that I am purposed to do.
That's important, Dad. And I think, and I'm going to ask you for some nuggets. You didn't drop so many. I'm going to have to go back and look at this and write stuff down. There's so many nuggets that you put out there, but being detached is you don't feel that fulfillment. And that's this emptiness that you have that I believe a lot of people deal with.
It knows how to shake up, be agitated. When it's time for us to shift and change, you can get real uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's what's happening for me in corporate.
And I can relate to you in saying that, I've said some no to some things and it's like it cycles back through. It may be packaged a little differently, but the central, the substance of it is still the same. Yeah. I can ignore it, but it comes back.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, what else can you drop? I know people are, you got people on here listening to you. Let's drop some advice. Give the viewers some advice. I'm listening too.
Lord, so many things. My one thing is just in this season of what we are experiencing in this pandemic, it is important. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Mental and emotional health, making sure that you are good mentally and emotionally. I think, the whole world is experiencing and has been experiencing a grieving process because life has changed. Life is different, right? Like you can't get out your car without saying, oh my God, let me go back and get my mask. Right? Like, do I have my mask in my purse? Like we all are having to think about things that we didn't have to think about in February.
Right.
People's financial situations have changed.
Yep.
That's can be another layer of stress. The uncertainty of the world in which we live in is stressful enough.
Yep.
Right? So just making sure that, go see somebody. Like see somebody. I swear to you, my clients who engage in mental health therapy, they'll tell anybody. I see Verily. I mean, they have no problem. Now, when they first sat down, I've never done this before. Most people don't know that they need to see somebody until they have a seat with somebody.
Yeah.
Because all kind of stuff starts coming up. And you think that you're going for one thing, but man, it's layers to this mental and emotional health. We're impacted. We're impacted all the way from childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of things that we have suppressed, and I think that what we're in currently, this pandemic, is shaking some stuff up. It's shaking like some things that have been rooted. It's shaking it up. Mm-hmm. See somebody. Call your company's EAP. See if they have EAP benefits for you. And they can refer you to a therapist. Figure it out. Get it done. But see somebody.
This is all making sense. We're gonna stop the live in a minute, but you don't go nowhere. This is all making sense. I'll speak to that. Last 3 questions. Mm-hmm. Name something. Thank you for those that advice. That's powerful. And thank you for that. So name something that makes you smile.
Food, honey. Yeah. I mean, food. Good food. Good food. Food, well, not one thing, but food and family and friends.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, food, family, and friends.
All right. That's it right there. So what does the future hold for you?
Ooh, like I said, I'm writing, honey. Joy Morgan is on me like white on rice.
You're good.
I was gonna say something else about that. So writing, some consulting, mm-hmm. Carrying on the legacy of consulting, just from a different point of view, from a different perspective, different content. That's really just enjoying life, though.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for another opportunity to begin again.
Yeah. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So leave us with 3 words. Leave the viewers 3 words.
Live life well.
Live life well. Man, that's another powerful statement. Verily, I'm so thankful that you came on, that you accepted to come on. You've given a lot of helpful information to those that are viewing and those that will view later. Mm-hmm. Contact information, or I can put that in there, or
so you can find me on all social media platforms, Verily Harper. Mm-hmm. And if you are looking for a therapist, you're interested in therapy, my office number is 609-436-0053. And my website is www.tbegloballlc.com.
Well, ma'am, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Don't leave yet. We thank you all for viewing. Coming on, we'll be on next week. Stay tuned to our next guest that is coming on next week. You guys have an amazing rest of the day and an amazing rest of the week. Thank you, Ms. Harper.